February 17, 2026. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. There was no real economic data that came out to move the markets. No, no news, but there were a couple of times where the market just kind of rocketed up or rocketed down. There weren't too many setups that I could find. I did manage to take one trade, and it was profitable. Today was kind of I don't know, it was just kind of very choppy because yesterday was President's Day. I wasn't going to trade it because, as you can see, this is the whole day. I mean, not the whole day, but there's only a couple hours of trading. It's not worth trading this. And then Friday was kind of like, I don't know, kind of choppy. And today was kind of choppy as well. So I'm going to get into trades right now. In the pre-market, you kind of have a sell-off, two legs down, kind of a reversal. Looks like it's almost three choppy legs down, push up, one leg down, second leg, third leg. It almost looks like a spike in a channel. I'm not the biggest fan of this blue up channel, but it is a break of this green, test the high, so it looks like it's two legs up, comes back down. EMA is starting to react. It's like a first entry long pullback, visually a second entry long, but there's no setup here. It pushes up. I established this blue trend line because it has one touch, two touch, three touch, four touch, but there's no trades here. There's a localized high. It's a first entry long pullback, second entry long, but this is a terrible signal bar. Never broke above the previous until right here. So, and it's a kind of a neutral bar inside to this. So there's nothing here. Prices push up, comes back down. You have a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long. I looked at this and I wanted to see if there was kind of a trade here. When it played out like this next candle, it looked pretty nice, except in real time, it's far from the EMA, so there's no key entry point. It is the second entry long, but you're pressing right up against this potential resistance area. So it pushes up, breaks, pushes down on this yellow down channel, and it hits this low. It creates a first entry short, pullback, second entry short. I actually thought this might have been a possible trade because it's a break of this orange down channel. You're expecting it to test the low. It's one attempt. This is the second attempt. EMA is starting to act as resistance. The decent signal bar. This yellow down channel doesn't exist, so you can't use this as a key entry point. So there's really only two key entry points. First entry short, second entry short, decent signal bar, decent engulfing bar, and EMA rejection. Pushes down, so now successfully tested the low. First entry short pullback, second entry short, and a localized high. First entry long pullback, second entry long failure. I thought this was a possible trade. I was debating it in real time, but I didn't take the trade, and I honestly don't know how I would have entered because while I was watching this, look at the timestamp here. It's 6:50 and 30 seconds Pacific Standard, and right here, this is at 35 seconds, and then right here is at 47 seconds. So this flushed down, you'd have to take it on the engulfing because it has two key entry points, plus the EMA, plus this yellow down channel. So it actually has like four setups going for you. One touch, two touch, three touch. That's one setup. EMA, that's the second one. First entry short, second entry short. That's the third. New high, first entry long pullback, second entry long. That's the fourth. Because as it engulfed, when it flushes down, then it was just too late to try to take the trade because once it exceeds these two potential bounce points, then you're kind of in no man's land. You're not really sure if it's going to ricochet back up. And then next candle, when it keeps pushing down, now if you try to enter this, you're definitely chasing. You're going to push it and follow this into kind of an unknown territory. But if you did manage to take it right on the engulfing, it would have been a possible trade. Presses to the low, say first entry short, pullback, second entry short, and it kind of creates a third entry short. This actually sets up for my first trade. So I'm thinking there's this yellow down channel. It has broken. It needs to test the low. It looks like it was two legs up. Break of this orange up channel has broken here, made two attempts up, tested the high. So I'm thinking this yellow up channel has been played out. It might want to resume this yellow down channel push. So it is a visual first entry, second entry short, then you get a lower high. So I entered this. I thought, is there going to be a lower high here? Technically, you have a confirmed lower high. This is inside of this. I like the way this bar closed. Then this follow through candle here, it looks like it's trying to press down. Now, this is inside to this guy, inside to this guy. And on the larger time scale, it looks like it's just one candle. So I was thinking there is enough room. Well, not, I didn't think this was in a range just yet, but I thought there was enough momentum to push down to kind of make an attempt to test the extreme of this green down channel. Technically, it's made it here, but it wasn't very decisive. So you could say it's a break. It technically tested here, but I'm thinking it's pushing down. So I entered right here. It pushes up, and this is actually the better entry right here because this is a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long. Now, when I was entering on this trade right here, I thought I was going to get stopped out on this candle because I entered here. It pushes above my entry and closes, and I thought, okay, I probably lost this trade. And at this time, I do establish this as a trading range. But I thought, oh, I was actually selling into this potential low, and I was going for 6 ticks. And as you can see, this entry is exactly 6 ticks. It hits my exit, but it doesn't fill me because it doesn't tick through. So other people that also were going for 6 ticks might have gotten filled, but I am probably at the end of the line, but I wasn't able to get filled. Then I saw this and I thought, okay, I'm probably going to lose this trade because my stop's 1 tick above here. Then it flushes down. And I look at this in hindsight and I thought this is actually the better setup to have taken this failed second entry long. So new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long failure. Entering after this trade kind of confirms, and it gives me more room to scalp out before I hit the lows. So this is actually the better trade to have taken. But I will say, when I saw this and it was coming back up, and while this candle was forming, I was thinking I should have just gone for 1 tick. Then I would have gotten out of the trade on this same candle. But when I saw this one form, I kept to my guns and kept it to 6 ticks. Was able to flush, get 6 ticks. This has actually been good enough for 2 points, 8 ticks. But of course, you don't know that in real time. And this setup wasn't the best one. This one was a clearly better entry to have taken. The prices continue moving down. And it kind of moves sideways, then it pushes back up. Moves along what I think is this yellow up channel. Looks like it's also 2 legs, 1 leg up, pull back, second leg, break. Localized highs at first entry long. Technically have a second entry long here, but it doesn't look very clean, so I didn't really consider a second entry anything. It is looking like it's moving down this green down channel. The break and test the low, no trade setup yet. Localized low, it has a first entry short pullback, second entry short. I call this an almost trade because seeing this in real time, I wanted this to be a better signal bar, but I also was curious if I'm moving up this orange up channel. Technically, there's a break here, but it's broken. It's going to test the high because it technically has tested the high, but by very little, about 1 or 2 ticks. So I just want a better signal bar or a lower high confirmation. So of course, I don't know if this big candle is going to flash down. Now I'm a little weary of a lower high just because it's pretty close to this low. So a lower high would mean, since it closed down here, the next candle has to move this entire candle body up, tick above, and then move back down, closing nicely, which is a big ask because most likely the next candle is going to open right here where this one closes. So you're asking for an equally large candle and push back down. And if it does form a lower high, I think I might run into some kind of support rejection right here. So it just felt very dangerous. So it just kind of gets choppy. Technically, I have a lower high here, but this is not a good signal bar. It's just a neutral body in the middle of the bar. Neutral body in the middle of the bar. Pushes up on this green up channel, breaks, tests the high, moves up, makes pretty much 2 attempts up. EMA is starting to come in as support. And then instead of trying to connect this, which didn't quite look right, because I had a couple of lines I was thinking, is this potentially a channel? It doesn't quite fit right, especially as this kept going up. So this is an option, this one right here. Go ahead and make it red right now. It doesn't look right, so I ended up deleting it. And then I drew a new orange up channel, which was a little tighter, and it's kind of drifted since then. But there's no key, there's no second entries that I found to be able to enter this. You have a second entry long here, but this candle is inside to this. First entry long pullback. Technically, you have a second entry long, but these 2 candles are inside to this, so it's just, nothing here. Plus, you don't have the benefit of the EMA helping. pushes up. Looks like it's moving up this yellow up channel now. I call this a possible trade because it's a second entry long, localized high, first entry long pullback, second entry long, bounce off the EMA, bounce off this trend line that I had at the time, was something like this. And I thought this could be a potential channel. Decent signal bar close. This is good enough, safe enough for 1 point scalp. Pushes up to the high, then it reverses back down. Localized low, first entry short pullback, second entry short. You don't really have a lower high here because it actually spiked above the previous. But I thought there might have been something here, but I couldn't justify and really know what this was. So there's something I noticed here. I didn't even mark it. And it creates a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long, and then you get a higher low here. Let's see. This low is 49.50, and this low is also 49. It actually creates a double bottom, but I thought it was a higher low. It's an almost trade because I could see a potential resistance here that would give you trouble if you bought in near the high. Pushes up, and then it starts flushing down. Technically, you have a second entry long here. It's a bad signal bar. You get a higher low here, but it just feels, this is your higher low right here. It feels a little iffy because I see like it's 2 legs down already. I'm not so sure this part of the price action is going to reverse. EMA is offering no help at all right now because it's just sideways. So nothing really here. When it hits this and flushes down, I thought there might have been a potential channel coming down. Not the biggest fan though. Creates a new low, first entry short pullback. You technically have a second entry short with the EMA rejection here. And I had this orange up channel, but it doesn't, it doesn't look as well developed because there's too many candles, not very many establishing this up channel. And the candles themselves look very large. So it almost looks like it's sideways opposed to this orange up channel. So to argue that this orange up channel has broken and tested the high and ready to reverse, you'd have to base it off the strength of your confidence that this yellow down channel is actually in play and this is the third touch rejection. But if you just look at the size of these candles, they're just pretty much side by side. Pushes to the localized low, creates a new low, first entry short pullback, second entry short. The second entry short I called an almost trade as well. I like that it engulfed this guy. Break of this orange up channel, you could argue has tested the high, so it might be coming back down, but I wanted to see a lower high. You technically get a lower high here, but it feels kind of far from the setup. I wanted the lower high pretty much in this region. Otherwise, this pretty much just looks like a first entry long failure or a lower high, and this region just feels too far from here. It is engulfing. That's pretty nice, but I was looking for maybe a second entry long failure, but it doesn't show up. Technically, I have a second entry long right here, but again, this is kind of far from what I was looking at, so it would be just kind of reaching to justify trying to take a short. So breaks test the low, creates a localized low, say first entry short pullback. Technically, you have a second entry short. I just didn't like the signal bar. Looking for a lower high. Again, a lower high doesn't really show up. Starts reversing, break, pushes up, no clean second entries. Hits the sideways consolidation area. Breaks, test the high. EMA starting to act as support, especially right here. We have a new high, say first entry long, pullback. You have a second entry long here. You also have a triple test. I'm going to go ahead and label it a triple test. The thing that was holding me back, and I don't know if I was being too conservative, is this isn't the best signal bar, and that kind of stopped me in my place. Now, this does have a measured move down, one leg down. Didn't mean to do that. One leg down, pull back, second leg down, measured move, reversing. All I needed was this candle to be green. Now it is bullish, but it's a red candle. If it was even bullish with a small tick, but at least ended green, I think I would have jumped on this. So then I'm looking, after this trade passes, I'm looking for a higher low. You get a higher low here, but in real time, you're thinking this guy, this green candle never broke above this. It creates a double top. It opens, I'm watching it, it flushes down, and then it kind of closes here. So now I'm just thinking, no, I don't want this trade at all. Because then you'd have to sit through this subsequent candle and then finally starts breaking up. So this is kind of a no clear idea of what's going on. Looks like it's in a trading range. Break of the high, first entry short pullback, second entry short. Again, first entry short, second entry short, bad signal bar. Might be moving back into this blue trading range. I'm looking for a lower high. You never get that lower high, so it just kind of pushes back down. Looks like it's moving down this orange down channel. Break, and it kind of tests the low. You do have a new low, first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short. It's an almost trade. There's really nothing here. I just like the fact that it fit nicely this yellow down channel resistance and it getting an EMA rejection. But there's no trade here because it just feels not safe. Because if you try to sell one tick below here, you're going to run into this potential resistance. Maybe good enough for a 1 point scalp, but it just didn't feel safe. And I was taking into consideration it's late in the day. The price action has been choppy. I was already green for this one trade. I was second guessing whether my mental capital was still there. Was I seeing something, inventing something that really wasn't there? And it really wasn't, came down to it really wasn't worth the chance that I would be wrong. So I left this one alone, called it an almost trade. Moves down this yellow down channel break. Break of this green up channel tries to test the high, then it flushes down. But then this is too late in the day, kind of pushes into the close. So kind of a very choppy day, not too many setups coming off a long holiday weekend, which is could indicate that maybe traders weren't fully participating right now, but hopefully tomorrow things kind of pick up. So hopefully that was helpful.